What's happening? What's up? Got that thing fired up. Streaming on all social media platforms. What's up? What's up? Um, so what we're gonna do today is that we are going to hold on, let people get in here. Let some people get in here. But yeah, I'm explaining it probably a couple times. I always get on these lives and people are always shooting me DMs or shooting me questions, asking me questions about the process or a process or something they're wanting to get into. So I just started a streaming on all social media platforms, and I just do a quick Q&A. I won't be on here long, but however long y'all need me here is how long that I'll stay on here. So yeah, if you have any questions, I'll do rapid fire. I see a lot of y'all are popping in. I got to keep switching screens until the screens get caught up. Because one thing about when you live on like multiple social media platforms, it lags in certain areas. So some people will complain about me not seeing their question. Someone say, "How am I doing?" I am doing great. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing today? So yeah, I'm doing all right. A little busy, but hey, boss is always busy, right? So someone asked a question. Like this is rapid fire question. So if you have a question, just submit it and I'll get to you as fast as possible. So this is a rapid fire Q&A. I don't have a specific subject. So whatever question you have, pregunta, go ahead and ask. Ask away. Or speak now, forever hold your peace. Someone asked that they're 18 years old. Someone just asked the same thing. Someone said, what is a decent credit score to start? Good, great question. So when you go on for credit or you're looking at credit, you need to understand all aspects of credit. Okay. So whenever you're talking about credit, I need you to focus on these four numbers: 520, 580, 620, 680. If you focus on those four numbers, you can do everything in credit. And a lot of people ain't gonna teach y'all that, or they don't even talk about that. So first number is a 580. I mean a 520. That's your lowest tier you can get. Anything below that, you're not getting approved for nothing. You can get approved for maybe an apartment, some low tier credit cards, and some buy here, pay here car lots. That's all you're gonna get approved for with a 520. 580. That's when you start getting approved for a decent amount of apartments, and then you'll get approved for a lot of entry level credit cards. And then a 580 can also get you a house with the FHA loan or a VA loan if you're a veteran. 620. You need a 620. Then you start getting into investment properties and then higher tier credit cards or middle tier credit cards. 680 is where you need to be to get in pretty much any credit card and or to buy a business or get approved through the SBA. So those are your four tiers. Once you understand the tier system, now your objective is to go to do stuff to get on those different tiers. Okay, good question. Someone asks, what is the minimum amount of income to move to Thailand monthly? That is a great question. So there's a book called, I actually just reread it. Well, I don't really read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of books, audiobooks. I don't read them. One book that's called The 4 Hour Work Week. And in the 4 Hour Work Week, it was a guy who got tired of working his 9 to 5. So he traveled all over the world and tried to find the best places to live without being in danger and or having the best lifestyle with the cheapest amount of money that he can work online. And places like Singapore, Thailand, some parts of Germany, some parts of Brazil, and all those different type of places you can live fairly cheap like a king. So in his examples in his book, he broke down how to live pretty much for like $1,500 a month in Thailand, like a king. You go to the best nightclubs. You go out twice a week. You have a maid. You have a butler. You eat out every day. You can do that for $1,500 a month, and you can live in a penthouse downtown. And what he did is he started an online business, I think selling glasses or something. And the online business made him $1,000 a month. And then he taught English to Thai kids for about another $1,000 a month. So he taught English and then he sold glasses online. So he pretty much had the perfect life balance and he lived like a king in Thailand. So the 4-hour work week, if that's what you really want to get into, is a good book to get into. So like I said before, we getting on this live. I ain't gonna stand here too long. This is rapid fire. Whatever questions you got, I'll answer them specifically to you and we kind of can go from there. I'm streaming on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or X, and TikTok. So I only can get to your questions as fast as I can, okay? Someone said, me and my brother are looking to start a business. Okay. First of all, why start a business in this day and age when you can just buy an existing one? You don't have to deal with build out. That means when you find a place and signing a new triple net lease, you don't have to do a build out, building it from scratch. You don't have to hire a manager. You don't have to hire employees. You don't have to have a proof of concept. You don't have to come up with a new marketing strategy. You're going to spend 2 years and $500,000 doing that when you can just spend 10% of $500,000 and then all the systems already built. You buy it on Friday, you make your first check on Monday. That's what you need to do. So I wouldn't even start it. I didn't even finish reading your question, but someone said if you do buy an existing business and 2 people own it, they say, how do you co-operate? I would have a person in charge. 2 people in charge never works. One person always have to be someone should always be in charge, even if it's 51-48 or 51-49. If I own 51% of the company, that means that whatever I go say, what last thing I say goes. That's how it should be. You never should have 50-50, because if it's 50-50, then y'all disagree and then y'all gonna argue and then y'all gonna bicker. Someone should have the last say. So that's why you have CEOs. That's why you have that type of stuff in those type of companies. That's why you have presidents. You don't have 2 vice presidents. You have a president of a country. You don't have 2 vice presidents. Doesn't make any sense. Someone said franchise specifically. I don't know what that means. How do you get into franchising? Do you do any mentoring? Yes. I have a free training coming up Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. Click the link in the bio, join the free Be Your Own Boss class, and we can go from there. That's what I mean. When you talk about getting into franchising, so you can get into 2 types of franchises. You can start a franchise or you can buy an existing franchise. I am not an advocate of starting anything. Why start anything, right? I can build a car from scratch too. It's going to take me probably twice as much time. I might do it cheaper than buying it from the lot, but it's going to take me a damn year to get it. And then it's still going to have problems. I just buy it on Friday and I'm driving it on Saturday. Same thing with a business. Same thing with real estate. Yeah, I could build a house for cheaper, right? But if I don't want no custom home, then why do it? See, Snap, I see you. Someone says, what stocks do you prefer to buy now? I don't particularly like individual stocks. Individual stocks have made me a decent amount of money, but if I had to just recommend anybody generically for any type of stocks, roll with an ETF, an index fund, or a mutual fund. Those are the easiest ways to do any of that stuff, right? Invest in the market as a whole, not as an individual company. You have too much exposure when you invest in an individual company. So if you're investing in the S&P 500, S&P 250, the S&P 100, the S&P 50, stuff like that, you're investing in a whole bunch of different companies. So for example, let's say if you invest in the S&P 10, right? You invested in NVIDIA, which is a tech company. You invested in Microsoft, which is a tech company. You invested in Tesla, which is pretty much a car company / tech company. You're investing in Facebook, and now your exposure is different. You're investing in SP 50, now you're investing in Chase, which is a credit card company. You invest in Home Depot, which is a home improvement store. So versus just investing in like one particular industry or versus 5 different tech stocks. You don't do that. You invest in multiple stocks when you get into ETFs, mutual funds, and index funds. A good question though. Like I said before, rapid fire questions, y'all. Rapid fire questions. I want to get into a franchise. Cool. Click the link in the bio, join the free class. I have a class coming up that breaks down how to get into franchises if you want to. I have a franchise specialist that will not only tell you the ins and outs of franchises, they will help you get approved to purchase a franchise. I'll help you raise a down payment for your franchise, and or they'll give you a test and a questionnaire to let you know what kind of franchise would be good for you to invest in, which is kind of good too, because you'd be surprised of how many people don't know what they want to do until someone shows them what's available. So I like that question. How much would you say you would need to buy a business? It really depends on the business. I've seen businesses, I've seen some e-commerce businesses for as little as $1,000. I've seen some brick and mortar businesses for $12,000, $15,000, $20,000. Hell, I've seen some businesses damn near for free because they're not producing any income. And income and revenue and gross revenue and SED, seller discretionary earnings and cash flow, all of that stuff is different. You just need to know the difference. You might be thinking you're getting a deal. It was like, oh, the gross revenue is $500,000. The SED is 12 grand. Oh, I'm getting a deal. Are you? That's why you got to learn this type of stuff. How far does a small savings go when it comes to buying a business? You don't really need savings. You just need the know-how on how to raise capital. Here's my little book of money. I have over $3 million worth of line of credit in here. Actually, it's more than that. I just say $3 million because it's just a round number. But I can use that if I wanted to, if I wanted to go buy another business. I can use that if I wanted to go buy more real estate. I can use that if I wanted to go get into buy a franchise. Why are you using your own money? If you know how to raise money from the banks or the financial institutions, use their money. I can use my money if I don't feel like going through them, but your savings should be invested. What are you saving for? I tell people that all the time. What's the point of having a savings account? I ain't had a savings account in 12 years. What are you saving for? An emergency? What emergency can't be fixed or solved with a high limit credit card? Here we go. Let me get one out for you. I like visual aids. People like visual aids, so I'll do that. I'm trying to find one that doesn't spill all my information on it. Here we go. Here's one I never used. Let's say if this had $20,000 on it. Okay? This business credit card has $20,000 on it. What emergency could come up where that $20,000 couldn't be put on that card? If that's the case, why am I saving? I'm not talking and I hate to bring up Dave Ramsey because I made a video about him, but he always talking about save up for 6 months. Why? What couldn't I put on this business credit card that has $20,000 limit? What couldn't I do? Everything takes credit cards now anyways. Everything. They're in the problem that you can name that I couldn't fix with this. Roof leaking, swipe. Flat tire, swipe. Car got repo, swipe. I can use that every day to get an Uber or something. Name a problem. There's not one. So your savings is non and void. You don't need a savings account. You need to be investing your money. Your money in a savings account makes 0.05% interest. You put in $1, you get half a penny. You put in $1, you get half a penny. That's trash. You got to start investing your money. IRAs, 401ks, TSPs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, index funds, even crypto. I don't give a damn what you put it in. You got to put it in something that makes money. So savings, no thanks. Oh, my shoulder's killing me. Someone said, do I teach credit repair? Yes. If you having credit issues, you have late payments, repos, charge off, delinquencies, misspelling of your name, misspelling of your addresses, you move around a lot, you have baby mama support, you have collections, all that kind of stuff, click the link in the bio, join the free class, and I'll see if I can help you in a credit repair. And even if you just want to learn more about credit, or even buying a business or buying real estate, you know how I even got into that? So this is what happened. This is how my whole social media even started. If you ever wanted to know, I'll kind of break it down for you. I was doing my thing, buying houses and investing, and people would ask me, yo, how do you do that? Yo, man, you're young. How you got all this money? What's all this stuff? How you get all this stuff? How you buying all this stuff? I said, oh yeah, I buy houses. I flip houses. I invest in the stock market. I buy businesses or whatever. And they're like, teach me. And I'll explain it to them for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. And then they wouldn't do shit. A week later, somebody else explained it to them for 2 hours and they don't do shit. And I was like, you know what? Instead of me explaining this shit to people, I'm gonna just start recording myself and upload it on YouTube, and I'll just send them the video. And it worked. And then people started reaching out to me. Hey man, can you teach me? Teach me how to do it. Teach me specifically how to do it. And then I said, okay, cool, I don't care. So I started offering coaching consultations for free. And just to see if, just get my work on my craft. And then I just kept booking and booking and booking. And I was like, well, how about $100? How about $200? How about $500? And then after, and just, then I realized this is what really makes me mad. When I was giving out all that free consultation, I would reach out to people and do follow-ups after about 6 months to a year, and people was doing the same shit they were doing before. So I almost feel like I was wasting my time. So that's why if you ever ask any person that in the money game, why don't they just give the game away for free? Because you're wasting your time. People don't respect your time. It really bothers me when I teach somebody how to do something and they do what they want to do. Hey man, do X, Y, Z, and they do 1, 2, 3. I'm just like, yo, why am I even talking? Right? Why are you even listening to me? If you're gonna do what you want to do, it's crazy. Anyways, enough of that. What is the first step of creating an investment account? Well, first of all, you got to know there's multiple investment accounts. Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, Robinhood, Webull, Betterment, Stash. There's multiple ones. First, you got to figure out what you want to invest in, and then just do a dollar cost average, and then work it out from there. If you want more details, I can break it down for you. I'm trying to lead education. What, you a teacher? I don't know what that means. Someone said, what are my favorite 2 companies to own? Denstar in the house. Danger's no stranger to an age ranger. Old military buddy. Who are you? Do I know you from tech school? Where I know you from? Or do I know you from a deployment or something? How do I know you? Someone says, what are my favorite 2 companies to own? A lot of people overthink. I think a lot of people's fear and overanalyzation comes from their head. It's all in your brain. A lot of this money stuff, don't overthink it. You can make hundreds of thousands / millions of dollars in any industry. You just have to be the one to do it. You know, you'll see online people say, I never would own a restaurant. They suck. They don't make money. Cool. When you go home, when you go to work tomorrow, count how many restaurants you see going to work. Oh, I wouldn't own a gas station. Cool. How many gas stations you pass going to work? Oh, I wouldn't own a bar. How many bars you count going to the restaurant, going to work tomorrow? Oh, I wouldn't own a gym. Count how many gyms you go to. I wouldn't own a landscaping company. Cool. Count how many landscaping companies you count going to work. That think about it like that. So they're not thriving. They're not doing good, or just the ones that you heard about was doing bad. And who did you hear this from? Did you hear from somebody who ain't got no money, who don't own a business? Or you hear it from somebody like me, who owns multiple businesses, who has a lot of money, who owns multiple pieces of property? Did you hear from me? Because I'm not going to tell you any of that. You can thrive in any industry. The goal is to thrive, though. The goal is not the industry. I would never own a strip club. Well, there's people making $1 million strip club. I would never own a casino. Okay, cool. There's people making $1 million at casino. I would never own a vape shop. There's people making millions of dollars in vape shops. You can name an industry, and there's people making millions of dollars. I would never own a retail brick and mortar clothing store. Those things are going out of business. Cool. Explain that to the 5 Play-Doh closets I passed on the way come here. The 5 clothing stores, clothing boutiques that I passed, going to get something to eat. Somebody lying. Somebody's lying. I see people all the time. These are the industries that I would not invest in. Cool. That's you. How about the industries that you should invest in? You know the ones that make money. Which ones make money? All of them, if you know what you're doing. Say word. So if y'all like this find value in this type of stuff, especially on TikTok, tap the screen multiple times. This is just a rapid fire Q&A. People always asking to answer questions rapid fire. Streaming on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. Someone says, do I mentor? Yeah, click the link in the bio, join the free class. The class will be Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. I don't sell your information, nor will I spam you with messages. So you want to come, hang out, learn more? Cool. You want to move forward? Cool. If you don't, oh well, I don't care. Right? It's more of a hustle, side hustle to me, anyways. It is what it is. One person show up, it is what it is. 1 million people show up, it is what it is. I'm just here to give you value, my brother. Business, buying, trades, HVAC, plumbing, electricity, without being a tradesman. Are you telling me? Home servicing, yeah, it's a good industry. HVAC, plumbing, electrical. But if there was a business that I bought that had a license to work there, please believe I would get the license, because the last thing I need is like one old guy to be like, I've been on the job 20 years. You can't fire me. I'm the only foreman X1 license that's on here. I'm vetted. I can nut up. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out there and be like, I'm gonna Google how long it take to get the training, and I'm gonna go do it. Oh, you need to be on the job for 6 months. Cool. Hey, I'm going out with somebody. After 6 months, I'm gonna learn that damn job. Then I'm gonna take the damn test, which can't be that damn hard. Hell, he passed it. Then I'm gonna get that certificate or that license, and then if he's screwing off, I can fire his ass, and I can do the job myself, or I can be the foreman or the licensee, whoever the person is in charge. What happens if you already have business credit cards? How do you fix that? We are able to more business credit and buy already running business. How I think what you're saying is if you already got business credit, you need to get more business credit. So there's multiple different financial institutions you can get business credit from. So all you need to do is reach out to them. One, I'm gonna put you on some game right now. If your credit limits aren't super high, I would call all my business credit cards and ask for a credit limit decrease. You probably should be doing that every quarter or every 4 months. 3 times a year, ask for a credit limit decrease. And then, or go to other financial institutions and asking them for money, because I can name probably 30 banks off the top of my head that you probably can go to to raise more money. Overutilization is killing your personal credit? Probably. I tell people your personal credit is a joke. Your personal credit is like a trophy car. You take it out of the garage once a month, you take it to a Cars and Coffee, you wash it, and you put it, drive it maybe 5-10 miles, and then you put it in the garage, and that's it. You never use your personal credit for a lot of stuff. The only time you use your personal credit is to guarantee or to be the guarantor on business credit, or buying a house. And then you should put it in your business name anyways. And then buying a car, and you should put that in your business name too. They're just guaranteeing that. And then all it's going to be is a hard inquiry on your credit. And hard inquiries only stay on your credit 1 to 2 years. 1 year, it doesn't even count anymore. 2 years, it falls off. If you spread out buying a house, buying a car, and getting business credit over 2 years, you'll almost never have any inquiries on your credit if you know what you're doing. Good question, though. That wasn't even a question. You were just making a statement. I got to fast forward the comments on TikTok. I'm sorry. Got to fast forward the comments. Y'all asking a lot of questions. What do you think about the hard part? What do you think the hard part is? Getting capital or getting credit right? If your credit is right, capital's not hard. Getting your credit up, because a lot of people credit is so jacked up. But one thing about credit is it's black and white. A lot of people look at credit like it's like a monster in the room or something. It's not like that. If your credit has Y on it, your credit will be Y. If your credit has Z on it, it'll be Z. It's nothing. It's not rocket science. If you have hard inquiries, a lot of hard inquiries, your credit's going to drop. You have late payments, your credit's going to drop. You have high utilization, anything over 9% is going to go up. Anything over 30% is going to go up or go down even more. Over 50% is going to go down even more, right? So you have repossession is going to go down. You have collections is going to go down. If you have, so what's your objective? Is to get that stuff either off your credit or not have it on there at all. How do you get it off? You work with a credit repair team or learn the process yourself, right? I can help you with it. I can teach you how to do it yourself, or you can just hire me to do it for you, And then we need to get your utilization down. Pay your bills. I didn't max out your damn credit cards. You did. I don't know why. You should only use credit cards for emergencies, but people using them things to live off of and take vacations off of, which doesn't even make any sense. I don't know. I don't get it. I need to replace my $2,000 I need to replace my $20K a year job. I want to buy a business, but I don't know where to start. You start here. Welcome. Who do I contact to start looking for business? You contact me. So I'll even put you on some little game. I'll even give you the numbers off the top of my head. You're making $200,000 a year. $200,000 a year of SED will generate at a 30% margin, something in the range of about a $700,000 business. You need about $35,000 to $70,000 down, which if you don't have it, I can help you raise it. Let's say if you did put $70,000 down, you're going to finance $630,000. $630,000 at a 10% margin, 10% interest rate over 10 years would be a payment of about $70K a year. If that business is bringing in $220, minus your 70K payment, you'll be bringing in $150,000 a year, and you ain't even doing shit. You're not even working half. You making 200K a year, you probably working 50, 60 hours a week. You probably be working 5 hours a week, making $100, making $1.50. So now hear me out. What would you rather do? Would you rather make $200,000 a year, working 50 hours a week, or making $1.50 working 5 hours a week? I don't know, I guess. Not rocket science, people. 5 hours a week, making $1.50. Go ahead and answer the question. I like these type of scenarios because some people look at the money, some people look at the time. But I tell you what, once you start buying your time back, you'll never go back. Like I'm unemployable. I could never work for another person again. I can't do it. I have too much free time, or enough time to do what I want to do. It's not really free time. It's just I'm not working, telling somebody to do something for in exchange of a rate. How will businesses do with the government and the economy? How will businesses thrive in the government and the economy? I don't know. The same way it's been thriving since 1939, since the Great Depression. Private sector, which controls probably 60 to 70% of all jobs that thrive the market. A lot of people think like money and businesses revolve around like the major corporations like the Fords or the Walmart or the Target and the Amazon. No, right? You drive by a shopping center, you see a Walmart. What do you see right next to it? A Chipotle. What's next to that? A Panera. What's next to that? A Salon Suites. What's next to that? A damn sporting goods store. What's next to that? A little fitness gym. What's next to that? A little boutique. What's next to that? A Potbelly hibachi grill, right? What's next to that? Like those businesses, what make America great. Well, now I ain't trying to quote him, but those businesses is what make America thrive, not the big mom and pop stores. Walmart doesn't make America thrive. It's the little mom and pop stores that make America thrive. You got rid of those, the economy will collapse. It's almost in the government's best interest to keep those open. Because if you really think about it, let's say I want you to picture a random shopping center. Okay? Think about a random shopping center in your town. Okay? You got it in your head? Close every store besides the main one. I'm going to do it in my head. I'm down the street from a Publix. Okay? I'm going to keep Publix open, but I'm going to close the Pizza Hut, the liquor store, the Century 21, the Chinese restaurant, the massage place, the dry cleaners, the PAX, the barbershop, the Ninja Coder, the Italian restaurant, the eyeglass center, all of those little businesses. I'm going to close them all, So what do you think will hurt the economy more? Closing Publix or closing all those little businesses? Publix might got 30 employees, but that Pizza Hut got 3. That liquor store has 4. That, Panera has 8. All those little bitty stores has way more than that Publix. So I want you to think of it like that. Don't ever think of it as, and the government knows that. So their incentive is to keep those businesses open. That's why when the economy took a hit during COVID, that's why they gave out stimulus packages to small businesses, because without them, they wouldn't make it. You could print off trillions of dollars and give it to those people to keep their doors open, or you can keep the money to yourself and let all those businesses close and the economy will tank. We are in the economy the way it is now. If we close down all of those small shops, the economy would collapse, right? That if you get rid of that in the military, it ain't happening. right? They don't care about Amazon. They don't care about Walmart. They do, but not like that. The small mom and pops is where the money's made. Yeah. So, but yeah, I told you I was gonna come on here a little bit. I'm not gonna stay on here too much longer. I got stuff to do. So, rapid fire questions. Ask away. Right. I'm here for you guys. We streaming live. We got a lot of people in here today. Um, a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of people on LinkedIn, a crap ton of people on YouTube. Wow, surprise. Right? Surprise, mother clucker. Ask the questions, right? How much do you charge to mentor? It depends on you and depends on what you need. Click the link in the bio, join the free class. I got one coming up Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. Sign up. I don't sell your information, nor will I spam you with a whole bunch of crappy messages. Come to the class, learn more. You're interested, go from there. If you don't, it's all good. Someone said, how much do you need to buy a Dunkin' Donuts? Y'all in this damn Dunkin' Donuts. It depends on the state and it depends on the Dunkin' Donuts. Businesses are contingent upon gross revenue, cash flow, SED, surplus discretionary earnings, P&Ls, year to date, and all that kind of stuff like that. Businesses don't make businesses are worth what they bring in. So I'll give you an easy money analogy, right? So if a business makes $100,000, it could probably sell for $300,000 to $400,000, just depending on the place, depending on the type of business, and it depends on how much the owner's working too, because that's a factor in too. If a business is bringing in $100,000, but the owner's working 60-70 hours a week, a business that's bringing in $100,000 that the owner's working 60 hours a week versus a business that's bringing in $100,000 and the owner's working 2 hours a week, one is gonna sell for more than the other because you don't have to do as much work. So you go from there. Someone said, do you know of being private money partner? Would you want to be a private money partner? Surprisingly, I get offered a lot of money, a lot. I think I turned down 500K maybe a few months back. I don't need your money, right? But I'll teach you how to use your money to make your money. I don't need people's money. I feel like weird if I lost people's money. I feel weird even taking people's money to invest it. I don't need it. I don't want it either. 20K, 660 credit score. If you want to say how much money you have and or your credit score, I can tell you where you need to be too if you want to do rapid fire that way too. 20K is good. If you have 660 credit score, that means your credit's not bad. You probably have high credit card limits. You need to get your credit utilization down. Right? I ain't gonna say I would take my 20K in. I would put my 20K into investments instead of saving it. Because for people who say I got 20K, that must means it's just in like a checking account. That ain't really accessible money. You need to start investing a little more if you're not investing now. And or the 670 credit score is you have high credit card usage. Get the credit card down, or you got late payments on there, which you probably don't have credit. Late payments is about a 630, 640-ish. 630, 620-ish. You have high credit card usage. The trends are perfect, folks. It should be grabbing the next 5 years. Yes. You should be trying to buy businesses in real estate because them shit's going to be out of hand in the next. Some real estate market's going to be out of hand in the next 3 years. You won't be able to buy shit in that area. Someone says I got 50K and a 850 credit score, 840 credit score. Brother, you rich and don't even know it. 50K and that kind of credit score, you sitting on a gold mine. You can buy an absentee business, 500 to 600 thou wow. 35% margins. After debt servicing, you should be bringing in about $1.25 to $1.50 every month. $1.50 every year. If you're not bringing in $150,000 at your job, you working for nothing. Someone says I got $100K, $100,000 and an 815, brother, you rich. 10% down is $1 million business. You finance the other 900. Debt servicing is going to be about 90 at a 35% margins. you're at about 350, the 90 debt servicing, you're going to be about, sorry, I did the math wrong. 35, 350, 90, 260. You could be bringing in about $22,000 a month of cash flow to your pocket. Missed $100,000. $22,000 a month, you have your $100,000 back in 4 months. $100,000, you have your money back in 4 months, right? And when I do that off the top of my head, first of all, I was gifted at mathematics. In the ninth grade, they told me I didn't have to take any more high school math because I was too good at it. It came easy. In the 7th grade, I was taking 11th grade math. And in high school, I didn't have to take high school math. I just skipped grade. I was doing college level math. They said you can go for higher level college stuff or you can just chill. I said, I don't give a fuck. I'm chilling. I was young and dumb then. I didn't give a fuck about that. But yeah, if you want to learn more about that, Big Orange, click the link in the bio, join the free class. I got a free class coming up Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST that breaks down the process. You want to learn more? You want to get started? Let's go. Right? Or have fun at work. I don't care. It is what it is. That's like my universal saying. I need to quit saying that. I feel like I'm rubbing work in people's face. I can respect hard work. Right? I did 21 years in the military. Right? I respect it. I understand it. I'll never go back to that. Do you have the ability to repay those loans? I don't know what that means. Yeah. If you buy a business, and let's say the payment of the business is like, I'm gonna make this super simple. Let's say you buy a business and you borrow money from a financial institution and or a bank or the SBA, Small Business Administration. Let's say your payment every year, because I'll make it a month. Let's say your payment every month for that loan is $5,000 a month, right? But let's say you buy a business that brings in $15,000 a month. 15,000 minus 5,000 is $10,000. Okay. Now let's flip the script. Let's say you buy a business from the SBA or the financial institution or the bank. The payment on that business is $5,000 a month. You bring in $3,000 a month. That means you are running at a deficit of $2,000 a month. Now, is that a good business to buy? Let's say you bought a business that makes $15,000 a month and the payment for the business is $5,000 a month. That means you make $10,000 a month. Is that a good business to buy? Yes. I mean, it's this 6th grade math, man. Right? I mean, 15 minus 5. 3 minus 5. That's a negative. That's a deficit. That's not a good business to buy. And then what's crazy about it is I'll teach you how to evaluate deals. You'll learn how to evaluate deals. The lenders that I send you to know how to evaluate deals. The SBA know how to evaluate deals. The financial institutions know how to evaluate deals. So not only you get 5 different perspectives, but if me and you break down the deal, they're not going to kick it back. If it's bringing in a crap ton of money after you pay them back, then they're going to be like, okay, cool, you're good. You know what you're talking about. Next. You know? Something like a phenomenon. Someone said food truck, small business, small brick and mortar locations. I'm not big on food trucks. A lot of food trucks you have to work at, and I'm not in the business of sitting around servicing. I don't like a lot of food stuff anyways. Food costs are high and they take a lot of, you have to be there a lot. But like I said, don't listen to my opinion. You drive down the street, how many food trucks you see? You drive down the street, how many restaurants you see, right? That little busted up Chili's that's been on your corner, that little busted up TGI Fridays that's been on your corner for 10 years ain't closed down yet. Somebody going to that shit. I don't, but somebody is. If I make 150,000 take home from a business, How much do you pay in taxes? Depends on how much you want to take home in taxes. See, that's what's crazy about businesses. That's what's crazy about being an entrepreneur. When you go to work, the government doesn't trust you. You go to work, you get paid, the government takes the money out, and then you live off the rest. But when you're an entrepreneur or you're a business owner, you go to work, you make the money, you live first, and then whatever's left, you pay taxes on. But you got to know how to do it, right? If you run a lot of stuff through your business, then you can reduce your taxable income to pretty much nothing. Let's say you had a business that was bringing in $150,000 a year. Cool. I got to take a business trip to do such. Boom. I can write off my car and my business. Boom. Right? You can write off 100% depreciation using tax code section 179, especially if it weighs over 6,000 pounds. If a vehicle weighs over 6,000 pounds, you can write the whole damn thing off. Right? That's why you see so many rich people driving G-Wagons. You think G-Wagons look good? No, they look like shit. But you can write off the whole damn car. Right? Escalades. You ever see a roll of like Tahoes? You ever see a roll of Escalades? Sprinter vans? G-Wagons? Cullinans? You can write them off in your business. So you make $150,000. You know what? I don't want to pay taxes this year on that $150,000, which, income tax on $150,000 is, let's say, 33%. You probably have to pay 45 grand in taxes. But you know what? I bought a $150,000 G-Wagon. So I'm going to super depreciate it. Boom. So now on paper, I made nothing. I got my car and I made nothing in taxes. Made nothing as income. So how much do I pay in income? In taxes? I didn't make any money. I broke even. So you don't pay anything in taxes. So you just reduce your taxable income to zero. So now you save $45,000 in taxes. That's the beauty of being a business owner versus being an employee. You can't do that shit. You go to work, they don't trust you. They take taxes out right in there. And at the end of the year, you try to figure it out. But at the end of the year for me, hey, I didn't make no money. Okay, cool. What'd you spend your money on? I ran ads. I had employees. I took some business trips. I took some clients on some business lunchings and business outings. It says on here you made $600,000 this year in this particular business, but you spent $450,000. Yep. Okay, cool. So now you owe us taxes on $150. Deal, right? Versus $600,000, I'll take it, right? I can write it all off, or I can write none of it off. But you got to be careful though, because businesses are worth what the person brings in income. So if your business made $0 for 5 years, when someone tries to say you try to sell that thing, it made no money. You can't sell it for anything. So therein lies the rub. So that's when you come up with a strategy with me and say, hey, I'm thinking about selling this business 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Okay, cool. Well, you can't write all this shit off. You got to take some L's on this taxes, but you make it up in the sale of the business. Say word, right? And then if you really wanted to, you just take your income and start buying real estate or start buying stocks into your business fund. There's tons of ways, people. Or buy the real estate that your business is operating out of. It's just not a game, people. This shit is not a game. Someone said I got $50,000 to invest. What should I do? Stocks, real estate, or stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, 401ks, IRAs, real estate, single family, quadplex, fourplex, duplex, and or or buy an existing business. And or I would start with my personal credit, because I would start investing and dollar cost average and work on my personal credit. But I don't know what your personal credit is. Someone said I'll give you $100,000 cash and your credit is a 400, or I'll give you a credit of 810K. I'll take the 810K because the 800 credit score, I can go out and raise millions of dollars worth of funds. Millions of dollars. Millions. And this is just what I got in here. I got another 7 in the other room and another 7 in my damn shit. I got 1 here. I ain't even used. And what's on here? $30,000. $30,000. I ain't even use it. Right? Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another $25,000. My name, 25,000. My name, another 25,000. That's what good credit to get you. Someone says, I got $50,000. I just showed you $55,000 worth of line of credit. Why that cash is irrelevant. Good credit. I'll take the credit. But what time is it? I gotta get off here in a minute. But I like coming on here. Y'all got a good audience today. There's a lot of people here. Wow. I almost don't want to get off. There's a lot of people in here today. Where y'all come from? Damn. But 1 or 2 more questions, and then I'll have to get off here. I got stuff to do. But I appreciate you, Instagram. If you new to Instagram, you just happen to be strolling by, or you was in the Navy, sorry to hear that. Oh, you said you got 50K and a 770 credit score? Oh yeah, brother, you rich and don't even know it. And I won't even say rich. I don't like the term rich because to call somebody rich, you have to define rich. Rich is, to me, is when you can buy your time back. $50,000 down, 10% down on a $500,000 business. That $500,000 business is going to be doing let's say $1.75 in cash flow or money to the owner or whatever you want to call it. After debt servicing of $45,000, 175 minus 45, you're going to be producing somewhere in the range of $1.10, $1.20, $1.30. I'll say $1.20 on the low end. If it's an absentee business, good. If it's not an absentee business, say you work 10 hours a week, right? If you're not working 10 hours a week and making $120,000 at your job, then you fucking up, my guy. About as simple as it gets. That's why I say you're rich and don't even know it. You're rich on time because you're spending an hour a day commuting back and forth, and then you're spending 8 to 9 hours at your job when you can be spending, 2 hours in your office at home working on your own business, bringing in $120,000, $130,000 a year. Right? What kind of business? The business is irrelevant. The amount of money is. Right? If you want to learn more about the process, this goes for everybody in here. It's a lot of y'all. God dang, where y'all coming from? Shoot. Welcome. Damn, we bumping today. Yeah. Click the link in the bio, join the free class. What's up? I see you. Come to the free class. The link is in the bio. And come through. We all tired of working, man. Yeah. I was tired of working too. I just got tired of it and I learned the process and I figured it out. Was it hard? Yeah. But a lot of the stuff you learn from my mistakes. We can fast forward all the damn bull crap. If you want to get into real estate. And I'm going to focus on these 5 things and then I got to go. Once you focus and master the 5 pillars of finance, your life is on easy mode, right? Because once you understand these and truly apply these to your life, it's down here. Buying cash flow producing assets, businesses, self-storage, Airbnb, a freaking Turo business, ATMs, Dunkin' Donuts, a franchise, gas station, any of that shit, right? Understanding that process. Then you got to get into real estate, buying your own home, buying single family homes, buying duplexes, quadplexes, fourplexes, which finances as a single family home. Then you got to get into apartments, right? 5 units or more. Then you get into warehouse storages. You can get into commercial, you know, then you can get into land if you want to get into that. Those two processes. Then you got to work on your personal credit. Personal credit, you need to get decent credit scores, which I broke down the credit scores earlier. Then you got to get into business credit, converting all your personal credit to business credit, because you can go out there and raise millions of dollars worth of business credit. You can't do that in your personal name. And the more personal credit you use, the worse your credit score looks. We don't touch our credit score. We use it to secure money. We use the money to go buy assets. Boom. Then you got to work on your taxes, right? I just broke down how you can make $200,000 a year and not even pay taxes, right? Those are the type of things you need to start learning, you know? Then we also going to focus on your investments. 401k if you have one, IRAs, TSP, Roths, traditional. You know, to focus on ETFs, mutual funds, index funds. You need to focus on individual stocks if you want to get into that. You can focus on crypto if you want to get into that. I don't care, right? We got to focus on getting assets, because when you start making some decent money, you got to put some of that stuff away. You can't sit around trying to buy Escalades and gold teeth and grills and all that kind of dumb shit, right? So, so click the link in the bio, join the free class. It's Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. And if I don't get to talk to you again, if I don't go live anytime soon, go over there, sign up. I don't sell you information, nor will I spam you with a whole bunch of junk mail and crap. Sign up, come hang out, learn more about money, and just learn more about the process. I appreciate y'all being here. I'll be the Zane.